Now I know people don't want to admit it, but Devin Booker is arguably the best shooting guard in the league. We could dive deep into all the narratives and talk on social media surrounding him, but today we're dissecting exactly how Devin Booker makes defensive schemes look easy to beat as he scores the ball at will. Posting averages of 29 points and nearly 9 assists per game, D-Book is pouring it in from the field at a 49% rate, 43% from deep, and 91% from the free throw line on 8 attempts. To say he's a solid scorer would be an understatement, as D-Book is literally a walking bucket. You'll have those occasions where you see defense play pretty perfect, but just by being locked in, there's really nothing you can do to throw him off. On these screen actions, you can't allow Booker to have space coming off, or else he can comfortably get into a walk down 3 splat. Sagging off like that does nothing but give Booker time, space, and opportunity to rise up for the jumper, and trust me, this is one of the last things you want to let him do. Although that can be a pretty terrible decision, well, so is letting a big switch out on him, because even the slightest moves can generate gaps of space, and now it's bombs away from the top of the key. I mean, take this move here for an example. By the time Devin Booker steps back all the way behind the line, the defense has barely moved at all as Booker pulls up to knock down the 3-pointer. Crazy, right? Defenders really gotta step up on that, because if you don't, then you already know what the deal is. Even though it's a very low sample size, across 8 games played, D-Book has knocked down 50% of his 1 catch and shoot threes per game, and on 4 pull-ups from deep a game, he's converted these at a 44% rate. This threat of shooting the ball from beyond the arc makes defenders play gymnastics trying to run him off that line, but with his cool, calm, and collective manner, it's just a rhythm dribble while sidestepping to drain the jumper. Not only does this work when it comes to Booker creating a look for himself, but when you pair that with his ability to work off screens, that's when you see McDaniels try to lunge out to Booker around this Nurkic screen when the hezzy is served. And now with only one guy to beat, it's the slow-footed big man in Rudy Gobert, so it's an easy blow-by to sneak this in with the right hand. Some people may not notice it in real time, but Devin Booker has this second gear he can shift into when getting downhill that gives him a major advantage on defenders, just granting him cleaner looks at the rim. When crossing half court, this slight brush screen gives Booker the amount of separation and downhill momentum needed to gain the step on McDaniels, and by knowing he has the shot blocker and Rudy Gobert coming over for the help, he places this high in the air, banking it off the glass with the left hand. You simply can't allow him to get head starts like this coming up the floor, as you're already at a disadvantage, because even if Booker doesn't decide to take it all the way in, then once he feels the contact, he's crafty enough to pull up drawing the foul, and can stay focused all the way through to connect on the and one. Yeah, there's people out there that say Booker is soft and cries about contact and wah, but honestly, I think he plays well through it and he can use it to his advantage a lot of the time. Things happen so fast that when you're watching in real time, you really might just miss it. But Booker loves to use that off arm to get into the defender's space to shut them off as he goes in to lay his home. It doesn't always take a lot of contact as he just needs a slither of space, but when needed, Booker can muscle the defense off him completely so he can then pull up with ease. This physical play is a must-have skill as it allows you to set up plays more effectively as well, so now with the defender trailing you when coming off the screen, it's a clear route for you to get right into your shot if the help defense isn't quick enough to step up. Hey, I don't know if you've noticed it by now, but honestly, it's the small things that happen on the court that dictate whether a player can get easy looks at the rim or if they will be forced into tough shots. For Booker, he can be funneled into those tight spaces with 3 defenders, but by getting into the chest to sharp on this attack, he's able to bounce into the paint for a much easier jumper. You kinda see how that didn't take a whole lot, and he didn't complicate it with many different combos. There's honestly many ways to navigate to where you want on the floor, and even in the simplest form, Devin Booker will never be denied getting to his spot. Usually you'll see a snake around the screen if it's available right here, but with the spacing being tight, he pushes further downhill, and right here you'll see most guys retreat back or look for an open teammate, but instead D-Book sees a different angle he can attack and gets it right to the glass. Just so you understand this isn't a one-off thing, look right here. Booker uses it once again, but since the second attack angle opens up many different options on the floor, he can get into that close range fade instead of going for the layup. Versus Utah on this play, Booker should have swung it to the corner, but hey, he wants to take it himself in these clutch moments. So he pushes towards the middle of the floor, pushing the ball out in front to burst through, and now as he arrives at his desired spot, he knows that the rookie will bite on the up fake. This indeed does get George on that trampoline, and D-Book drains the 8-footer. That little amount of patience at the end of the play is what separates Devin Booker from most around the league, because he easily could have opted into a drifting jumper or a tough drive to the rim, but instead he stays poised, gets exactly where he wants, and then pulls a trick out the bag to get the shot off clean. When moving off the ball versus Spurs here, Booker can navigate right to the middle of the paint with that spin move, and if you watch closely, you'll notice Sochan lift up just enough, which allows Booker to get into his jumper before Sochan can even get back up to contest the jumper. When you take this patience, paired with that downhill speed and mid-range shooting, this is when you get those nasty up fake spin out combos, which all out cook the defense before drilling it right in their face. This right here is real devious work Devin Booker is putting on the defenders. Just when you think you have him contained and right where you want him, well, that's when he shows you that he has more than a couple moves in his bag, and he has no problem serving them on a nightly basis. Since the mid-range still isn't an overly taken shot in the league, when being surrounded by 3 Warriors defenders, this little pass fake that Eubanks on the roll takes Looney out the play. Then by carrying it high and over his head as if he's going to pass it to Grayson Allen, this makes Steph lunge away from him. And then with Wiggins still running like a track star while Booker is planted, this look right here in the heart of the defense went from crowded to wide open in just a few seconds. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is what you call space creation at its finest. I know some of you like to think elite space creating is how well you can handle the ball to find openings within the defense, but when you create distance from defenders without even placing the ball on the ground, this speaks volumes on how well you can create your shot. This is a key reason as to why Booker is so effective out the face-up option, because not only can he use those pass fakes to make defenders move, but since he can shoot the ball so well, the up fake is hard to not bite on, and by the time you're coming back down, Booker is already making his move. If needed, he doesn't mind playing a little physical to get into this face-up, and now with him in the palm of your hands, he can either rise up to shoot over you, attack towards the middle of the floor, or attack baseline side. Now no cheating, everybody drop your answers as where you think Devin Booker will go. Now 3, 2, 1, if you said drop baseline, then you will be correct. With there being nothing but space, and with the help side defender being all the way on the other side of the paint, it's a no-brainer for Booker to attack this way, and then he uses the inside hand to get it up before the defense could even get to it. In these actions, he's able to scan the whole entire floor before making his move, which gives him a major advantage on defenders as he isn't attacking the rim or running around the court blindly, but instead he's picking his attacks wisely, and if there's a hole in your defense, then he's for sure going to exploit it. His game might not be the flashiest, nor does he do the most exciting things, but if you really study the way he approaches the game, you'll see that he is highly effective and can use many different weapons to pick apart defensive schemes with his scoring ability. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like and subscribe before heading over to watch this Chet Holmgren analysis. I thank you all for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.